Hi Phil, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Plymouth Raiders?
Yeah, okay, so I'm Phil Hughes. I'm the community manager for Plymouth Raiders. Basically, my role involves everything that isn't happening on the pro court. So I design, deliver, and evaluate all of the kind of programs and projects that we do around the community and in schools. And we really cover everybody from age 3 right up to we've got programs that cover. We've got some 80-year-olds playing walking basketball. So there's kind of everything for everybody in between.
And what we'd like to find out today at the Maths Centre is just to know a little bit more about how you use your maths skills on a day-to-day basis in your role.
You know, it's funny because until I started this job, I was one of those believers that maths is a waste of time, and I'm never going to use it in my later life. And the older I get, the more I realise that I've probably used it every single day since I left kind of education. In my current role, my job, as I've said, it revolves around the design of projects, and the key focus to those projects is: are they affordable? Can we afford to put them on? How much do we need to charge in order to make it affordable for people to attend, but affordable for us to deliver? You then have to go into the route of looking at how big is a venue, right down to the kind of nth degree where we measure floor space to see how many people we can fit into a certain area, which is obviously then knocks onto the price category. How much can we charge that amount of people to make sure that we make a small amount of money to keep us going, but more than anything, we cover our costs. It comes down to timings, and certainly around the current situation with COVID, timings have become even more critical because we can't have groups of people bumping into other groups of people as one group leave and the next group kind of enter. So literally everything that I do all day, every day, evaluating sessions to make sure that we've got numbers coming in and that we can have room for more people to come in before delivering new programs. And so everything I do all day, every day has got numbers involved there somewhere.
So as part of your project planning as well, I'm assuming you then have to calculate how many staff you need for each session and schedule everyone on a timetable and keep everyone happy that way as well?
Yeah, I don't know if I keep everybody happy, but yeah, there's certainly an element of rotoring people, but you're right. There is an element of trying to keep people happy. If you keep putting people in doing the same job, it gets a little bit monotonous. So we like to try and keep things fresh and keep people moving into different elements. We've got one of our great projects actually runs at City College at the moment, Active Ageing, and it's delivered by Paul Nicholson, who's the academy coach who's based in City College. So that's kind of the elderly project, but that kind of expands a little bit further from basketball. So we run a 45-minute walking basketball session, which is supported by a lot of the sport students from college who, on completion of the basketball, they take them over to the PR1 cafe and offer them refreshments, teas and coffees and that kind of stuff, and spend a bit of time trying to get rid of that social loneliness that can come when you get a little bit older. So again, timing there is quite critical, but we try and make sure that rota swaps around so it's not just Paul enjoying the cakes every week.
As part of your job as well, do you need to say, all right, last year we saw 2,000 people, next year's target's going to be we're going to see 2,500 people?
Yeah, completely. A huge part of my job is to grow involvement in basketball, not just in Plymouth, but across the Southwest. Basketball is severely underfunded at the top level. So everything we do, we kind of self-fund. And it's important for us to bring, our main focus really is to bring kids in at the younger level, grow that enjoyment. There's not too many people that start playing basketball that decide they don't like it and never come back. But basketball is a very generational sport. You certainly tend to find kids who are brought into basketball there because their parents loved it when they were younger. Football, rugby are sold to kids in school quite early, and basketball tends to get left out unless the teacher's got an interest. But it's always our goal to grow year on year. Certainly the amount of schools we deliver to, but the amount of faces we see as well.
So thank you, Phil. It's been incredible today to hear about all the different aspects of maths within all the roles that are involved within running a team, and then with the playing the match. And we've learned a lot about statistics today and angles and all sorts. And I didn't know if you want to just talk a little bit more about any the community projects that you've had going on at the moment and fundraising.
So we've had, over this kind of COVID period, a couple of us have been out bike riding. Plymouth Raiders is partnered with a club in Turkey called Başakşehir College, who play at almost the highest level in Europe. They play in a lot of European competition. So we thought it'd be a good idea to do a sponsored bike ride from Plymouth to Istanbul in Turkey. Or the virtual miles, we didn't actually go because of the situation, but we calculated the mileage. So it was 2,094 miles. And so between four of us, we rode 523.5 miles each to do that distance.
Awesome.
And then, as if that wasn't enough, Paul Nicholson, who coaches in the college, decided that he would turn around and ride the distance on the way back on his own. So he's halfway through doing that cycle now. So the 2,094 miles he's trying to plough through.
Thank you, Phil. It's been great to hear about how you use maths day to day. Just to finish up, just wondered how you found learning maths at school, and whether actually now you feel very differently about it, or how you feel about maths in general.
I hated it, gotta be honest. I hated maths at school. I never understood it in the slightest. Something clicked when I left school. I'm quite good now at mental arithmetic, and I can kind of put sums together in my head quite quickly, times tables and all that kind of stuff. And it's something I could never achieve whilst I was at school. So I think anybody who's in the education system at the moment, I say, if you don't get it, don't worry. At some stage it will click, and it suddenly becomes very simple. Maybe you simplify it yourself. I'm not sure how it works, but it does become simple at some stage.